I want to talk a little bit about the self-employment issues in our industry. So we've got employment, which is the standard way that we've been employing people for years, where the employer pays all the tax, national insurance, maternity, holiday pay, sickness, all that sort of stuff. And with the gig economy, it's changed quite a lot. So it's changed now to a lot of salons actually getting self-employed workers, rent a chair, we call them, or lease agreements, are two of the ways that is happening. Now, for the record, I'm not anti-self-employment. There's a lot of stuff on the internet that I've been posting. I've done blogs and all sorts of things about self-employment, and I haven't got a favourable view about it because it's not always done properly. It's not always done legally, and that's my problem. So if you've got a salon out there with self-employed workers and it's all proper, done and legal, and it's working for you, magic. You carry on, do your thing. However, I think it's widely known, at least if you spend 5 minutes on a forum, you'll find out that lots and lots and lots of businesses are not operating legally. So what they're doing, or what you're doing perhaps, and you might be a member of staff watching this, you might be a manager or something like that, and you might think, well, that's me. Well, I'm here to educate lots of you in the industry. Hopefully this will just help you make some right decisions. So, if you've got self-employed workers, these are going to be on a lease basis. And the number one thing you must have is a lease. I always recommend, as you know, to get your leases from the NHF, National Hairdressers Federation. They'll always be accurate, they'll always be legal, you'll always have support. Okay, so you have one of these. But if you ever get an investigation, and there is a reasonable chance you will because of the focus that's on this in the UK at the moment, then the lease agreement on its own isn't going to be any good, because the important part with self-employed workers is how you treat them. If you treat them as self-employed workers, you're going to be fine. But this is what's really happening. You're taking these people on a rent-a-chair basis, and then you are controlling pretty much everything they can do. So let me tell you what you can't do. Within reason, you cannot control their working hours. In fact, you can't control their working hours at all. You can set parameters if you've got good reason to. So you could say, your shop's open from 8 in the morning till 8 at night, and you can only work in that slot. Although there is some doubt in some premises whether you can even have that restriction. But let's just go with that for now. What you can't do is you can't tell that self-employed person that they've got to come in at 9 o'clock in the morning and work till 5. You can't tell them that their lunch is 1 till 1:30. You can't tell them that they can go for a cigarette break, or they can't go for a cigarette break. And if you're the self-employed worker, you don't have to ask. You roll up when you want, you go home when you want. Okay. Now, the same applies to holidays. If that self-employed worker wants to take Christmas off, Christmas week, bank holidays, anything they want, they don't have to ask for your permission, they just don't come in. I mean, they can be polite, of course, and say, I'm not in next week, that's cool, but you can't demand that they are in, or you can't demand that all your self-employed workers take different weeks off. You could technically end up with an empty shop if they're all self-employed, if you're doing it properly. So you can't tell them what to wear to work. In the leases it does say you've got to be presentable, so you wouldn't be unhygienic, but if they want to wear a t-shirt and jeans, they can do that. So if you've got a high-end establishment, you can't make them wear what you want. Now this is a killer, this is, and so many people don't bother with this. You cannot tell them what prices to charge. If you're a self-employed worker, you're in a salon, if you're amazing at cutting, if everyone else is charging £10, you want to charge £15, let's say for a man's cut, or if you want to charge twice the price for your nails from the lady sat on the table opposite you, you're in the same salon, you can do that. It's down to you. It's your business. It's nothing to do with the owner, how much you charge. Okay? Now, I understand why salon owners are mad with this, but you're choosing to do this. You want the benefits of not paying any tax, any national insurance, no maternity pay, no sick pay, etc. Well, the other side of it is you don't get to control their hours, their breaks, their holidays, their prices. You can't control which products they sell in your shop. Okay, they haven't got to buy them off you. You can sell they can sell whatever they want in the shop. So it's any hours, any products, any uniform, any holidays. Wow. How on earth are you as a salon owner ever going to control anything? You can't even guarantee that you're going to have workers there on any given day. Okay, look, it's a long video to do this properly. It's probably at least an hour, maybe more, and maybe I'll do a webinar in the next few months. But the point is, if you're a salon worker being treated like an employee, or you're an employer treating a salon worker like an employee, it's not going to end well for a lot of business owners in the UK this year. You know, there's a big emphasis on inspections, and I was involved, not my clients I should add, but with people who contacted me at a late minute in the day, with 4 tribunals last year. Okay, one of those 4, in fact, all 4 had to pay back charges, and one of those 4 is now closed as a result of the tribunal and the tax investigation that came 6 months later. It's a miserable place to be. You're going to end up paying back taxes for years, honestly. And if you're doing it to stay under VAT or to control VAT, listen, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. I can't work with you guys. You know, I can't come in and help you coach your business because you and I have no control over your team. You know, we can't decide that we want them to sell in a particular way, or we want them to talk to the customer in a particular way, or we want them to cut in a particular. We can't control them. It's really hard for me and you to actually engage. I do work with a couple of people, but it's really, you know, phone calls and it's advice like this. I'm kind of just trying to appeal to them to say, run your business in a more genuine fashion. It's better for you in the long run. Okay, so that's it for now. Self-employment, nothing wrong with it. Please do it properly, and you'll have a great business from it. If you're going to do it illegally, then you may have consequences in the future. Just for anyone who is an employee or who's being treated like an employee, you know, it is really important that both parties have respect for each other, and you can have a sensible working relationship together that is harmonious. But even when that happens, if you get an investigation, one party or both parties can still be liable for certain things. So look, just clean your act up if you're one of those. If you aren't, great. It's difficult for people who are employing staff to watch people who are employing or engaging self-employed workers, because they're paying a lot of tax and they're having, you know, to deal with a lot more overheads. So they're looking at businesses like yours and kind of criticizing it. So I don't think they need to do that if you're doing things properly. And like I said, you know, stay out of trouble, enjoy your kind of work lives and careers, and just have a think about how the self-employment system works.